Hello again and welcome to this edition of Charge Fast Break on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. I'm Scott Zurilla, glad you're with us. Coming up on today's show, the regular season final weekend is right around the corner, which means a couple more specialty nights, great promotions. We want to get you down to the public hall so that you can be a part of it. We're going to make you better one-on-one defenders as we're going to have our tips from the pro segment with London Johnson. And speaking of promotions, well, who puts all of that together? His name is Sam Armstrong. We'll sit down and talk with Sam one-on-one. But before then, as always, we like to start the show by telling you everything you need to know about the Charge off the court, as well as everything going on around the NBA G League. Looking back on the floor, the Charge pulled off an impressive 117-103 win at Grand Rapids behind a trio of Charge players going for 20 or more, as Imani Bates scored 23 points on 4 3-balls, while Eli Hughes added 22 off the bench with 6 bombs, with Luke Travers adding 20 points on 8 of 11 shooting. While the Charge dropped the rematch to the Gold, Hughes was hot again, draining 26 more points on 7 of 11 three-point shooting, while Travers once again chased a triple-double with 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. The Charge then returned to Cleveland for a 4-game homestand and dropped the first game by a score of 149-144 to the Osceola Magic, despite 30 points and 7 threes from Imani, 23 from Ferran Hunt, and 21 more from Naquan Tomlin. Following a Game 1 loss to Maine in the first of a 2-game set, the Charge won their first overtime game of the season by slipping past the Celtics 127-123 as Tomlin tallied 33 points on a 14 of 16 shooting night while adding 11 rebounds. Imani added 24 more, including 4 more threes, while Luke Travers once again flirted with a triple-double with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists, while hitting the game-winning runner in the extra session. And the Charge were busy off the floor as well, as they waived forward center Loudon Love and signed big man, and we do mean big, Babatunde Akingbola, a 6'10 center with a 7'4 wingspan. From the available player pool, welcome to Cleveland, Stretch. And with that, it's time to take you around the NBA G League, where Maine's J.D. Davison was named the NBA G League Player of the Month for February when he averaged 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, while Memphis big man Armando Bacot was named the most recent Player of the Week following his 34-point, 25-rebound effort against Santa Cruz. All right, we need to take our first time out of the show, but when we come back on this edition of Charge Fast Break, we're going to talk with Sam Armstrong about promotions. That's next on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zurilla. Well, if you've been to a Cleveland Charge game at Public Hall, you realize, and you've seen so many of the fun theme nights, the giveaways, the shirts, and the tosses, and the things that go on. Well, the gentleman to my right, Sam Armstrong, the Director of Marketing and Promotions for the Charge, he's the guy that pretty much puts all of that together. Sam, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Sam, so you are the guy that puts it all together. Where do you come up with all of these great ideas? Because I've been around since the beginning of the team, and every night is a fun night. It's great to be there for the game itself, but fans like the little giveaways too. Where does all this come from?
It all starts right about now, actually. Before the end of the season, we are constantly coming up with our ideas, big ideas for next year, our big theme nights, our big theme jerseys, our big giveaways, so we can all get ahead of the ball in that stance. But kind of starts with our team, myself, Ben Adams, Sean Beckwith, all these people kind of lean in at one point and come up with some big ideas for us.
Now, a lot of the names that you just mentioned, they're well involved with the Monsters as well as the Cavaliers. So sharing ideas is what you're saying that you do, as well as do you connect with other teams and other people from around the G League itself, around the AHL exactly? Is everybody working together to help each other out?
Yeah, I mean, especially in this organization, as you know, it fosters creativity and celebrates innovation, and we get to work with not just the Cavs counterparts, but the entire Monsters team, and I'm very grateful to be a part of that as well. The Monsters are best in the AHL, so a lot of stuff that they've done in the past, we've looked to replicate on the Charge end. And then the G League is nothing but supportive when it comes to teams. We have cohorts that we collaborate with and we talk to throughout the years, and sharing ideas, giving compliments of what worked well, and even asking for advice on how to get better too.
Now, you mentioned a lot of names there, but a couple names I want you to mention specifically are in-house because, again, with the jerseys and so many of the designs that you think that, like in the broadcast business, you turn your TV on and everything is right there. Folks show up to a ball game and the shirts are there and everything is on the seats. Now, it takes a lot of stuff, and you've got a couple names from in-house that you really rely on, don't you?
Yeah, with the jerseys, we go through this brainstorming process and we have so many ideas, and we kind of sit down and we focus on a certain few to get down to a good 4 to 6 theme jerseys for the year. And then we take them to our graphic designer, Cassie Sant. So shout out Cassie. She has taken our jersey game to the next level and our brand to the next level even. We give her those ideas and she kind of runs with it and brings them to life. And then we go from there and we start to we start to send those jersey designs out to vendors to get them made, and then we get them back. We get them numbered and named for locally here, and we're off and running.
So what are the most popular giveaways that you've been a part of over the years? Because, again, there's so many things that we see. Again, I can't even remember all of them, but, I mean, we've got superheroes and we've got special guests, and we're going to talk more about them as you come up. But there's a lot of different ones. What have been the most popular ones that you can remember?
Bobbleheads are always the most popular. Yeah. The mayor Bibblehead was a really fun one to be able to do and work with the mayor and his team, depicting the All-Star, his participation in the All-Star game when they were back here in Cleveland. The Kelsey bobbleheads that we were able to jump in on the Cavs order with. Hopefully the Amani Bates bobblehead this Friday is going to be great. And but other than that, we see the unique promotions being super popular. We did the Luke Travers mullet wig giveaway in December, and a lot of kids, including myself, had a lot of fun with that one. And a lot of people wore those throughout the game. Had success with hats. Weird hats throughout the years have been very popular for us.
And you know what, Sam, as much fun as we're having talking about it, and it is a great job, I'm part of your job, I'm sure. Bottom line is, though, it's still a business. Mm-hmm. And talk about that aspect of it, because when, again, fans come, they come for the game, but they like to get free stuff. And ultimately, as a business, you want to try to maximize that as much as possible, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no secret that giveaways impact the business. We take pride in ourselves on how we activate our theme nights and how largely cohesive they are and inclusive that they are at different areas of the business. So we really do kind of focus on retail. We focus on ticket sales and broadcasts, of course, but we also focus on basketball operations and community relations on how we can get those areas involved. And a perfect theme night for us has everything and is well-rounded in all those areas.
So here's my question, maybe my most important question. You know, we had Deadpool early in the year. I think last year we had the Captain America jerseys. So you're working with Marvel. Are you just calling Marvel up? Are you calling like Kevin Feige, their executive producer? How do you deal with these mega companies and work hand in hand with them?
Yeah. I wish I could just call Marvel at any point. I got some suggestions for movies here. The Marvel partnership, for example, is an actual league-driven thing for us. So a lot of teams are able to do it around the league for a less expensive price point than it would take if one team was trying to do it. So very grateful for us to be able to jump in and do that and get rights to do the Deadpool and Captain America and Black Panther jerseys that we've done previously. And then, of course, that comes with the comic book giveaways that we've been able to do and posters and use of their trademarks and logos and whatnot. So other collaborations like Grateful Dead this past year, we reached out to them directly and we just were like, hey, do you guys we know you have a sports entity program. We'd love to be able to put on a Grateful Dead night, especially with Public Hall's history of famous musical acts and Grateful Dead playing there. It was just a really fun one to activate. So we kind of do a lot of reaching out on our end, but other partnerships the G League can really drive.
So during this off season, can I assume you're going to call Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr because the Beatles played at Public Hall? I'm just kidding. I would love to.
We're trying.
Well, Sam, we're coming up on Fan Appreciation Weekend, the final weekend of the regular season. I know you've got a lot of things going on. Tell us about it.
Yeah, of course. So Sunday is our fan salute day with a first 1,500 people getting rope hats, charge rope hats presented by SeatGeek. But the real one is Saturday, the March 22nd game. We are having an amazing night with a celebrity appearance by John Grise, who is iconically known for his role as Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. Celebrating that film's 20th anniversary, we have a lot of stuff planned. The first 1,500 fans are going to get a Vote for Posy ringer T-shirt presented by Goodwill. And fans can actually purchase a Uncle Rico bobblehead ticket package, get that, and possibly a chance to meet him as well. That's on sale now. So chance to meet him, get his autograph, get a photo with him. He'll be around all night kind of helping us activate the theme. And we got a lot of other stuff up our sleeves too, like potentially Tina the llama might be making an appearance. We got some fun stuff in the hopper for that one.
So go to clevelandcharge.com to get tickets?
Yes, cleveland.com, clevelandcharge.com.
Sam, thank you for the time. It's fascinating, like I said, how you put all of this stuff together. And again, when I show up to do a game, I just see all this great stuff going on. I'm lucky, though. I get to know Sam. I know what goes on. Sam, thank you for the time. All the best. Looking forward to that fun weekend coming up. All right, we do need to take a time out here on Charge Fast Break. When we come back, we'll have more on the Rock Entertainment Sports. And welcome back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zurilla. Well, we've been talking to you about becoming a better rebounder, a better ball handler, a better free throw shooter. Well, we thought we better start talking about some defense as well, to help us become a better man-to-man defender. Our tips from the pro segment is going to be London Johnson. London, thanks for joining me, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, now look, not everybody's a good defensive player. You know that. We talked about it before. Why do you think that is?
I really just wanted to work. Most people don't want to use all their energy on defense, so they save it for defense and use it all on offense. So that's really why.
What do you think makes a good defensive player, especially man-to-man?
I feel like the main thing is communication, anticipation, and just wanting to work.
Okay. Now, coaches know who can score, who can do what, but would you agree that, for kind of auditioning for the coaches, sometimes you want to be a good defensive player because, again, they know who can score, but they don't necessarily know who can play good man-to-man defense.
Yeah, that's a big fact. I feel like at this level, everybody can play offense. So it's like if you want to play defense, then that's how you're going to separate yourself.
All right, London, well, we're going to take a second now. We're going to bring in one of the assistant coaches, and we're going to go a little bit stuff on the floor, a little man-to-man. All right, helping us out on the floor, Charge assistant coach Brandon Halud. Brandon, thank you so much. Okay, guys, now, London, when your opponent is coming towards you and he starts dribbling towards you, what are you looking for first thing on him?
Really at his waist, see what direction he's going. I like to cut that side off, make him change direction. Then I'm a little bit faster than most of my opponents, so then I like to try to play with him, make him switch directions fast.
Okay, now what is, when we're young and we're taught how to play defense, the first thing we're taught is good defensive stance. Put us in a good defensive stance as Brandon is dribbling the basketball. How do you want to position your body?
Really, I like to get lower than my opponent, so I'm always here. And then I keep a hand on his waist to kind of keep my spacing right. Keep it here like that, and then try to cut him off.
Okay, now, you're talking hand positioning and all that. We've heard hands up, maybe hands down. When you're defending, if your hand is on the top, you're more likely to maybe grab or hit the hand. Do you want to keep the palms up? Where's the hand positioning?
Really, most of the refs call the foul as soon as they see the swipe coming down. So I like to put my one hand under, like this to swipe up or get that crossover still, and then one hand out, whatever direction he's going.
Okay, now on top of that, of course, playing defense, the first thing we're always taught is moving your feet. Same type of thing. What's the footwork? Is it a thought process? How are you taught this from coaches? What are you trying to do with your feet when you're defending a player?
A lot of it determines on the scout report. So if you have a player that's heavy right hand or heavy left hand, then I like to sit on that hand and make him dribble with his weaker hand, and then that's usually how I get a lot of turnovers. And then with that weak hand, I like to put my hand right here so he can't really, where the refs can't see, and then I'm here with it.
You and I were talking earlier at one of the games in Grand Rapids. You were right in front of me at the scores table. I was so impressed. You were right on top of the player, but what I noticed is you tend to always have one hand extended. Mm-hmm. Is that something personal that you do? Is that something that you're taught, and why do you do it?
Mainly just presence. Once the offensive player sees that presence where you're bigger or more areas being taken up, more space being taken up, it's even like with help defense, if you're in that spot, even though you might not get that pass, just you being there, he might not throw it. So kind of same thing with your hand. He sees you have presence in that area, then he might not go that direction or throw that pass.
The other thing I noticed in that game we were talking about was, and I know this is the tough part, and this is where you really got to move your feet. When Brandon, if you're driving to the side, you really got uptight on him, and you were practically putting the physical, the contact together. Mm-hmm. How can you do that with playing good defense without committing a foul?
Really, the main thing is show your hands so the ref don't call the foul. But really, you can use a lot of your body as long as you're showing hands. And then as you get closer to the basket, the more physical it gets. So from there, then you can start using hands. And then depending on your player, you might want to foul before he gets a layup. So.
And I would imagine on top of that, that's really when the footwork becomes key, doesn't it? Yeah. Are you reading a ball handler? Brandon, do some dribbling for me there, and just trying to get past. When you're watching him, are you reading how high his dribble is? Yeah. Does he focus strictly on one hand over the other and try to attack a weakness, so to speak? So do you already know if he's a good ball handler or not, or are you kind of figuring that out as the game moves along?
Most of it comes with scout report, knowing it before the game, but also being there watching him make his moves. Like if he's constantly doing a hezzy, and then the hezzy, then I'll read the hezzy, and then when he does the hezzy, jump to that right hand, or if he's doing a hezzy cross always, then I'll back up a little bit so I can get the pluck and then get the steal. Okay, now we've got to make something real clear here. I'm a little bit older than you are. Explain to our older viewers what a hezzy is. A hezzy is like a rhythm dribble to read your defender, so like it's like a hezzy. You can hezzy pass, you can hezzy shoot, you can hezzy keep going, it's whatever.
Okay, now I would imagine this is part of the defensive game plan. Do you try to steer a ball handler? Do you try to put him or send him to a specific place? Or is your main focus just trying to make sure that he stays in front of you?
The main thing I'd say that I do personally is just try to keep him out the middle, because that makes it easier on me to stay on one side of his hand to force him that direction. But other than that, then the scout report, again, I'd say keep him out the middle, and then we like to chop off some of the ball screens or force down to the big so the big get the block.
Okay, perfect. You mentioned screens. Now, I think I kind of know the answer, but again, for our viewers at home, when the screens are coming and the ball handler has a choice, how are you determining to come under the screen, when to go over the screen? What is your thought process for something like that?
Personally, I don't even like to go under at all, just because it gives the opponent the opportunity to score. Even if he can't shoot, somebody's going to hit the shot one day. So I always like to get up tight, stay on his hip, wherever we're going. If I hear the ball screen, I like to that hand again, kind of like push him out and then force him the direction.
So, but if I'm the screener and I come up and he's coming around me, what are you trying to do? You're going to just, okay.
I try to step over the screener and then push him out with my hand.
All right. Now, you're a young guy. That's obvious. But are there any little tricks that you have learned over the years? Years ago, I learned, maybe pull a little bit of a jersey, maybe hook a little bit of the arm. Yeah. Any of that kind of stuff you do?
I still do that. I kind of like hook the arm. If you're dribbling this way, I'll hook the arm like this.
Come on over, Brandon. Let's do it. Let's do it that way.
So the ref can't see, like this right here. Then the ref can't see it. Okay. Then he does that, I'm out. And a lot of players, they'll try to bring this arm back over top, and then I'll come here like that.
No jersey grabbing though.
Maybe like not with the ball, but like off ball.
All right. Well, that's a great point to go to. So again, we're talking about on the ball defensive play. What about when he does not have the ball, and you're just trying to keep up with him? How are you defending him? Because again, screens are coming, big guys are coming. What is the thinking there?
I'd say it gets a lot more physical when you don't have the ball, because refs' eyes aren't on you all the time. It gets tricky. So I like to grab, I like to hold, pull jerseys, all that.
Oh, that's fun stuff.
Yeah.
So again, for being a young guy, you've learned all the tricks already. Well, for our young viewers at home, as we wrap things up, tips from the pros, how to be a good defensive on-the-ball defender for the young kids at home. What would you say are some of the biggest keys to make them better?
I'd say fast feet, a lot of jump roping, keep your feet moving, and then anticipation, and then communication. Learn how to play with your teammates, and then you'll be straight. And you forgot the most important one, the first thing you said. Got to work hard. Work hard. There you go. That's everything.
There you go. London Johnson, thanks, my man.
Sure,
Tips from the pros. Now you're a better defensive player. Let's take a time out here on Charge Fast Break. When we come back, we'll have more on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back to Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zurilla, putting the finishing touches on this episode. Well, the final weekend of the regular season is right around the corner, and as we said at the top of the show, that means more great promotions at Public Hall. We want you to get ready for a flippin' sweet night, Saturday, March 22nd at 5 at Public Hall, when the Charge pays homage to the movie Napoleon Dynamite with a celebrity appearance by John Grise, Uncle Rico from the movie. The team will wear Uncle Rico-inspired jerseys, and the first 1,500 fans score a Vote for Posy t-shirt presented by Goodwill. And don't forget your tots and chapstick. Then the very next day, Sunday, March 23rd at 4 p.m. at Public Hall, it's the regular season finale. Join the Charge for Cleveland Salute Night, presented by SeatGeek. The prize patrol will be out in full force, and the first 1,500 fans receive a Charge rope hat. Get your tickets at clevelandcharge.com. Okay, so that's going to do it for this edition of Charge Fast Break. I'm Scott Zurilla. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Top of the three-point line, right down the lane. Floater left of the lane. Glass and good. And the basket is good. And the Charge win it in overtime.